And we are live.
Great. Welcome, everyone. What week are we on now? I think we are on week 6. Wow. Okay.
Wow.
So just a couple more weeks to go. But yeah, everything's coming along really well. Really good PRs. It was really interesting reviewing it and seeing what you guys are up to. But yeah, let's just jump straight into it because I know it's quite a busy. This is quite a busy meeting, isn't it? So we've got, let's just do issue 11, and I think that's Sarah and Deborah. Okay, so I'm just going to let you go ahead. So I'm going to mute myself now.
Yeah, okay. So I'll do the demo. You can hear me, right? Yeah, okay, great. Okay, so our issue was to allow the user to delete an item and to also prompt the user to make sure that he's doing the right decision. So I'll just show you here. If you click, then yeah, so it's you get a little message here, and I clicked on butter, and I just have this the Firestore here, the database, so you can see that it reflects, and now it's gone, and you get a flash message. So I'm just going to, in case you didn't see it, and with the name of the item that was deleted. And that was basically our issue of the week with Sarah. I'm just going to stop sharing. I think Sarah's going to go over the code.
Okay. So in the code we have just we have just added a button with an icon for that trash from font awesome, and for the action on the clicks. So we are using a window to confirm to using showing a confirm message to the user to make sure if he wants to delete the item or not, and if it's okay, if it's okay, then we are going to just delete, and we're doing so through the update function. We're using the item ID, then just Firestore delete, and then if it's done okay, we'll display the message, and if anything happened wrong, we just display an error message. So that was for the issue, and for the flash message, we have created a component for it right here. It's just simple. It's just a paragraph with a content and type for styling, and for to set the message from the component, we have created a library. We have used event emitters to make the component communicate together. So I have create a new event emitter and export it. So in the component, like in add item here, you're calling display message with the content and the type, and in helper we have created we have imported a bus here and create a display message that emits the bus. That's something that David recommended, so we don't repeat ourselves in other components, and it's just better visualize here, easy to read, more readable here. So so if you want, so now if you just want to view a message, you will need just to call that display message with the content and the type and the message type. Yeah, and that's it, I think. And in flash message, we have used a use effect with an empty array, so it's set only one time. That's something that Hagar suggested, very useful. And also and also for the timeout, there is an issue that also Hajar has noticed it. We didn't notice it before, that the use effect was being called constantly, because every time you make a change to the message, it's being called. So for the first time after setting the message, this will be called, and set message will be called to set empty, which will cause the use effect to be called again, and it was called constantly. So we needed to check for the content. So if we don't have a content, we don't have to set the message to set the initial message. So we that way we're going to stop use effect from being called. I hope I'm clear. Okay, so that was it.
That's really interesting. I feel like I missed something with the set timeout. Is it you want the message to just display for a certain amount of time? Is that why you're using a set timeout? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Okay.
For number for 2 milliseconds. Yeah,
for two seconds. Yeah.
2 seconds.
Okay. Cool. Sorry, I just jumped in. I was on the other call, but I love the abstraction of the event emitter and the display message and all that kind of stuff. It's really nice to see. So you're not repeating code all over the place.
Cool. So any questions? Okay.
Yeah, although I have one out of curiosity. How do you decided to use that event emitter for communicating the component? How do you came with that?
We searched it. So we were trying to kind of bust this function through the parent component to the parent component, but it didn't work. We have tried to pass it, but it didn't work. So we searched for other ways to communicate between a child to communicate between a child component and a parent component, and we found this event emitters, and it was very easy. Yeah, it made easy.
Is rude an actual ARIA live? Is that a valid value for?
Okay, so VS Code is complaining about it, but works like when I tried, like it suggests 3 of or polite or assertive. But when I try them, it doesn't interrupt the screen reader actually. So only Rude that did the job. Sorry.
That's hilarious. I love it.
Yeah.
It's
an actual value.
Yeah. That's I've never seen that before. But yeah, I was just going to add, it's very interesting that you chose to do event emitters. It's really good. I was reading up a bit more about it because I was thinking, I think I know what that is, but but yeah, very, very interesting, very good. Does anyone else have any more comments before we move on to the next group? No? Okay. All right, thanks, Sarah. If you just stop sharing your screen, and then we're going to move on to Kenny and Hajar. So yeah, I'll let you get on with your demo.
Okay, so I would be doing the demo. I'm going to start sharing now. Okay, so the issue was to basically make to classify how soon the user is going to buy each item as visually distinct. So we classify them into 4 main groups. So soon, kind of soon, not soon, and inactive, and each of them have different colors. So I'm going to indicate that. So I already have a token generated, and I want to add an item. So let's say we add eggs, 7 days. Then we add bread, 14 days, and yams, 30 days. So when we check our list, these are displayed as 3 distinct items. So we used this light green color for 7 days, within 7 days. Then this blue color for less than 30 days, and this pink color for after or more than 30 days. So the last group was the inactive group. So that's if inactive when there's only one purchase in database or the purchase is really out of date. So in order to demonstrate this or to simulate this, Hajar came up with a simple app that converts dates to milliseconds. And then, so what I'm just going to do is just choose a date, which I've chosen here. So this is a date that is about over 6 weeks prior to now. So at it and then we copy it. And then we go to our console, then simulate it. Let's say we wanted to make the eggs, which is supposed to be 7 days and showing a green color. We want to make it out of date. We come here, choose number, and then we paste in our value. We would see that it changes from green to a light gray color that indicates that the item is out of date. So see our eggs has changed in color now. So that's basically the demo. If anyone has any questions?
That's fantastic. And building a little tool for yourself to convert to milliseconds. That's amazing.
Yeah, that was Aja's idea.
I love that.
Okay, so
It looks great.
thank you. Any questions? Then Haja will do the code now.
Okay, I'm sharing now.
Yep.
Okay, so this week we have added to the app, I think 3 functions. The first one here in helper.js is out of date, is to check if the item if the item is out of date. It takes how soon and recent patches of the item, and it compares the dates, the days between the recent purchase and the current date, and it checks if it's greater than how soon multiplies 2. We also check here for recent patches because when we add the item for the first time, the recent purchase is going to be null by default, and we don't want the item to be inactive for if we just added it. The next function is enlist item. It gets status and ARIA label. At first, it also takes how soon and recent purchase. At first, it checks if the item is inactive, is out of date. So if it's out of date, it's gonna return inactive as a status and inactive item as an ARIA label. But if the item is not inactive, it's just gonna compare the how soon. So if it's less than 7, it's gonna return soon, and next purchase is within 7 days, and so on. We use the status and ARIA label here. The status is going to be our class name, so to specify the background color of the item, and the ARIA label is going to be an ARIA label here. The next function is in sorted list. It's compare items. It takes the data of 2 items, how soon and the names of the items. It first compares between how soon of the items to check which items have the least a number of estimated days until the next purchase. So, and then if they both have the same number of days, it's going to check for the names. The item of the greater name is going to return 1. We are returning minus and negative values here. So because we're going to need this function in the sort method here. And that's the method, the sort method knows how to sort the data. So In sort method, we first grab all the data we're going to need, how soon and names, and we want also to check if the items are out of date. So here, to sort two items, we have 4 probabilities. Both items are not out of date, they both active, or they are out of date. In that case, we're gonna need to compare 2 items to check which item has the less name or the less how soon option, or the least estimated days. So if only one item is going to be inactive, or going to be out of date, we don't have to compare here because the item that's out of date should always come second. I think that's it. We're returning -1 here for the item that is not out of date. So I think that's it. 3 functions. Okay, any questions?
Thank you for the comments, by the way, throughout. It was very helpful. So
Okay.
yeah, so thank you for that. Sorry, Andrew, I think
That's what I was gonna say too. It's just that's like the perfect use of comments. You know, like this could be really confusing if you just try to look at the code by itself, but with the comments, you're like, oh, okay, I know exactly what's happening at each step. So that's amazing.
Okay, thank you.
Has anyone else got any more comments? And I also like to say that it's really good that you're kind of looking at accessibility and making sure that you've got the ARIA labels. And it was quite interesting discussion when we were doing the PRs about, you know, just generally, I think both groups would kind of have sort of bearing that more in mind.
I think
so. It's really good.
Yeah. It was a bit harder than I thought it would be, like reading about accessibility. I didn't know that it would be a bit confusing at first. You know, I didn't know what was the best practice, or and so far I didn't have like the best materials to work on. You know, I'm still reading a little bit about it.
Yeah, we're all learning actually. Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
Things that I'm not really aware of, and suddenly I'm like, okay, learn this thing. But we are gonna. I think I'm giving the next talk about accessibility, so that's next week.
Yeah,
So hopefully I'll
that's
be able
awesome.
to enlighten you on some of those aspects.
Yes.
But thank you, Hajar and Kenny.
Thank
Can
you.
I say one other thing is that in past weeks, we've talked about the sorting algorithm needing to return 1, -1, or 0. But here, this is really smart because in this case, you know, you're returning -1 or 1 based on the date. But then if they're the same, where you would normally return 0, you're guaranteed that the names are not going to be the same. So you're actually safe to return 1 or -1 there too. So that function will never return 0, but it's actually not a problem.
I think because it's unique, the names are unique. We won't have the 0 thing.
Yep, exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I'm gonna stop now, okay?
I think it's over to you, Luca. I think it's retros next, isn't it?
Yes,
Yes.
I will
Okay.
take over from here. So yeah, as usual, we will have about 10 minutes to fill up the columns, and we can come back at 30, I'll say. I can also start sharing the screen so that you can follow the board. Okay, let's come back in 2 minutes. Okay, are we ready?
One second, Luca.
Okay, everybody's done? Okay. Yeah, we can get started with our third retro. These past 2 weeks, we've done a lot of, you all have done a lot of work and a lot of communication, great code. So it's time to discuss our appreciations, what went well, and what could we do better for the upcoming weeks. So to get started, first we have Sarah. Sarah, do you want to start?
Okay. So shout out to the whole team. They are so nice, and I'm so lucky to be with him. And a special shout out to Hajar because thanks to her rockstar knowledge of React, she noticed an issue with our code that we didn't even know it existed. So thank you. And shout out to Luca and Andrew for their time in the office hour. It was very useful to me. So yeah, thanks.
Luca, I
Sorry,
out,
sorry,
out of
David.
time.
Yeah,
No,
I just saw it.
I was late. So I already said this some weeks ago, but I will say it again. You are showing professionalism in everything you do better than professional developers I know myself. So don't be afraid of the posting or applying to jobs. You will do great when you land your first job. So I would like to, I wanted to encourage you. You are doing great.
That's awesome. That means a lot because I'm in the same shoes as everyone. So that encouragement means a lot to us. So next up we have Kenny.
So I just wanted to give a shout out to the mentors for always being so helpful towards helping us learn, and to amazing teammates. Like I'm so grateful to be a part of this team. And as we slowly come to the end of the program, I can confidently say that Collab has been one of the major highlights of the year for me. And I really can't wait to recommend the program to my friends who are still upcoming in their development and developer journey, because I think it has transformed mine, and I'm grateful to be a part of the program. So thank you.
Yes, absolutely. I agree 100%. When I joined Collab Lab, it was for me one of the best experiences in terms of this collaboration process and in general, this teamwork. It's amazing. Andrew.
Yeah, I just love this team. The mentors and developers, you're all just lovely, and this meeting's honestly the highlight of my week. David, great, like, loves the discussions in Slack. It's like a really nice kind of touch. Keeps everybody engaged and thinking about new things, learning. And all of you developers just love just how generous you are with each other, how well you work together. You really work amazingly as a team together. It's really nice to see. Phoebe, thank you for being clear about what your limits were when you were sick. Are you feeling better? Are you back to 100% or?
Yeah, I'm better now. It was just a
Okay.
cold, but it was just combined with like low blood pressure and everything. So
Yeah.
but I'm fine now. But yeah, thank you for covering. I was really grateful for that.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, this year of all years, it's like when somebody says they're sick, you're like, oh no, I hope they're not
No
sick.
COVID.
Yeah. And then Luca, just thanks for your dedication to TCL generally. I mean, you've been so good and consistent about your communication with this in this role, but I could tell even when you were a developer on your previous team, that you were going to be a star. So thanks for all that.
Thanks, my honor. So we have Deborah next.
Yes. Shout out to David. I reached out to him out of desperation to find out what to study next, and also to know more about how to become more employable in case I apply for a job in Spain. We were able to speak in our language, which was nice. And so it was just really nice. Thank you, David. And to Andrew for the office hours, for all our job hunting questions, and for Sarah for being understanding. This week I haven't been responsive again, and just to everyone else really for everything. To the developers and to the team members. It's just great to have you, and to be to work together. Sorry.
Awesome. Phoebe.
Yeah, just a shout out to the cohort for being really great, engaged, and keeping the momentum going. And a special shout out to the mentors, especially David, for being really helpful and for those really interesting threads on Slack. So it's really nice. I look forward to sort of seeing what you're going to come up with next. Just Luca and Andrew, really just being very helpful, especially you, Luca. You're always there, in case I don't know something, I always refer to you. So yeah, thank you for being very, very helpful.
My pleasure. Okay, Hajar.
Okay, I'm gonna try to read this fast because of the time. So I appreciate everyone here. You are all so wonderful. I will never forget that you sang me a birthday song last time, 2 weeks ago, I think. Shouts out to Andrew for a great office hour and code review. For David, because his idea of the Talk Club, and for always helping us write better and more readable code. For answering Luca, for answering all my questions about this issue, and for a great office hour. Deborah and Kenny for putting themselves out there and for doing great at their interviews. That's it. Thank you.
Awesome. And lastly, shout out to all of you, because you are clearly so dedicated to this project and providing really, really quality work. Past 2 weeks, we had great coordination and questions in Slack, and that helped a lot, and thank you all for that. Shout out to David, of course, for starting a talk discussion club. I love it. I learned a lot from those videos and presentations, but also it's great to hear what you all think about this. So thanks for that. So moving on to what went well these past 2 weeks. First we have Kenny. Kenny, you wanna start?
Okay, so here I just want to say thank you to David for always sharing useful tips on Slack. And I finally got around to listening to the Geeking Out podcast that he recommended, I think, last week. And I learned a lot from that podcast. So thank you for that, David.
Cool.
Thank you.
Andrew?
Yeah, just the shape of your project, the quality of the code, seriously, it's the most professional level that I've seen from any team that's come through here. Lots of teams have done great work and all that, but this one's actually architected. You know, it's not just like, let's not just put code in that does the thing. It's like, let's think about a smart way to do this and how to, you know, keep it relatively dry and all that kind of, all those concerns. So seriously, just super impressed with the quality of the work that you're doing.
I 100% agree on that. David?
Yeah, I was really surprised when I was doing the code review yesterday because yeah, PRs are improving. We're simplifying the work of the reviewer and having a pre-populated token with all the conditions needed to be validated was great. It shows empathy and yeah, basically that. It's great.
Next, we have Sarah.
Okay, so right now I feel so comfortable using Git and GitHub, and like it's not a problem anymore. And like this was one of my goals, joining Collab Lab, so check. And the office hours are going so well. Like to be honest, I remember when Luca posted on Slack about the very first office hour. I didn't know about it before, and I was like, yeah, another meeting. And but it turned out to be like one of my favorite activities in Collab Lab. It's very useful and very insightful. It inspires me a lot. So yeah, it's going good. Yeah.
Awesome. Deborah?
Yeah, so it's basically what Sarah has mentioned, but in general, it's just all the support that we get, at least for the ones who are looking for a job at the moment, and for the things that are being posted on Slack, and that just that you're giving your time and effort to make us to be a better person and a better developer. And those times that you during the office hours, it's when we can ask things that we cannot ask anywhere else. Even in Twitter, if we just write something, we don't get that quality or a specialized response, and it's just yeah, it's very valuable, and I really appreciate it.
Yes, absolutely. It's also one of my favorite parts. And next we have Phoebe.
Yeah, just echoing David and Andrew in terms of the quality of work. The app is very well architected. It's so fantastic that you kind of think think so much into it, and how you just go above and beyond the like acceptance criteria. You don't think, okay, it just does the job and that's it. So you refactor the code, and it's just so nice to see it. It's just really good quality work, and it's paying off because the app is looking great and it works really well. So well done.
Awesome. We have Hajar next.
Okay, so we have finished 12 issues. We have learned a lot about accessibility and code refactoring, and we have received the great code reviews for this week and the last one. And the idea of that Talk Club is just amazing. So thank you, David, again for that. Yeah, that's it.
Awesome. And finally, I wanted to mention again that Slack channel is noisier these past 2 weeks, and you will all agree that this way we share so much more knowledge, and we learn so much more this way. So really amazing. I wanted to point that out. Also, Codebase, it was mentioned, but I will say it again because it's so clean, so descriptive, and these past 2 weeks I saw that there was some refactoring going on also on the way, so that's really awesome. It really motivates me to go back to our project, TCL 8, and kind of refactor some of the things because this is really, really well architected for sure. And lastly, we have what could we do better section. And first up is Kenny.
Okay, so I just want to say thank you to Hajar for being understanding this week because I was really unavailable, but fortunately we finished the issue quite early. But then most of the refactoring, I had to leave her to handle this because I got another interview with a local company here, and I had to do 3 sets of interviews for the same company on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and it was really hectic. So we did not meet as much as we should have. But well, the final interview is supposed to be on Tuesday, so fingers crossed. Hopeful that runs well. So thank you, Hajar, for understanding.
Yeah. That's amazing. That's amazing, Kenny.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Sarah, we have next Sarah.
Okay, so just a suggestion, like for the issue we had with the set timeout that Hajar went out, we haven't noticed it at all. So if you had something like a debugging tool or something like that that may help us to notice the bugs in the app, like I have used before something like Redux Logger. It used to print this whenever the state it changed, the state of the app, it prints the state before and after and the action that has been done. So it was very useful to debug the app and see what's really happening. So having something like that in the app will be very helpful. I think there is a React dev tool. Maybe you can start using it, and also adding some testing. Like I hate testing as much as it's important, but yeah. It's very important for the app, so maybe adding some unit testing tasks to the issues will help.
Yeah, that's a good point. We should definitely just make it a thing. Like as you're setting up the project, you should just install React Dev Tools for sure. We should just add that to sort of the orientation and stuff. So it's a great suggestion. We used to have testing as sort of like, I mean, the first, like I think TCL 2 might have been like, oh, you will do testing, because we were all like, oh, we should, like, people wanted to learn about that. And then it kind of went like they didn't weren't able to quite do it. And so we made it a suggestion, and then we eventually just took it out because it's, the focus here is really about learning the collaboration. So, but there are some groups, like I think this group, where you're handling the issues really well and stuff, and that you could actually kind of take testing on as an additional layer. You'd have capacity to do it. So yeah, it's just, we have to find that balance for the whole program. But if you all want to do some testing, we have some mentors who are really strong in it and who could kind of provide some direction perhaps. So if you want to learn more. Oh, I guess I'm up next. So yeah, I again this week failed to get to do any PR reviews, so I apologize. I can make all kinds of excuses. We're trying to launch a site at work, so was a little bit distracted, but I will try to get in and do that again in the coming weeks.
Some next. Oh, Sarah, there is another card for you. Or did you mention this already? Okay.
Yeah, it's the same.
Okay, sounds good. Hajar?
Yeah, I'm sorry if this sounds weird or anything, but I would like everyone to pronounce their name because I'm not sure if I pronounce it like correct in my head. So would you be so kind and pronounce
I want you to do the same. Will you say your name?
Yes, okay. It's Hajar Nasr. Hajar Nasr.
Hajar Nasr.
Yes.
Hajar Nasr.
Yes.
Nasr.
Also
Nasr.
for Andrew,
Nasr.
I would like also Nasr.
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 Yes. Nasr.
Okay.
Also for
nice.
Andrew, I would like also the handler. Like how do you pronounce your handler on Slack? Yeah.
Well, it doesn't have to be pronounced, but I usually say Segdaha. Segdaha, but it's my first initial last name backwards. So
Okay.
it just, no one else, it's never taken when I sign up for new services. So I stuck with it.
Yeah.
I can pronounce my first name and last name before we move on. So yeah, it's very long. My last name is very long, but you can give it a shot. So it's Luka Paramishvili.
I'm not going to try.
Paramishvili?
Paramishvili.
Paramishvili.
Yes, that's perfect.
All right.
Mine is this is Yuna. Yuna, it's like moon in our local. In Spain, there are 4 regions that they have a special dialect that is not Spanish. So in the place I live, Yuna means moon. So I'm David Moon. Or you want?
So you say David.
Yeah,
David,
for David or David.
David, yeah.
Okay, all right.
David.
Start changing that. Mine's a bit strange because it's it's actually Chinese Vietnamese name fixed with an Egyptian surname, so I'm double barrel. So it's Vong Fidel, but that's been anglicized. But if for the Egyptians in the room, it's Fadl. So yeah, as you probably know.
Oh my God, I just Fadil, I just okay, this is an Arabic name, yeah.
Yes, my husband's
that's
name.
so cool. Yeah.
But we all say Fidel because it's just so much easier. So we anglicize it for here, but it's actually pronounced Fadl. So there you are.
That's so cool.
Okay, so mine is Yahaya Kende. So Kende is a twin name, so I'm actually a twin. So in my dialect, so twins are called Kende and Taiwo. So I have a twin brother. Yes, so Yahaya Kende.
What does your brother do? He's a doctor and a developer as well.
It's actually a pharmacist and a writer. So he writes for a magazine, but he's a pharmacist by training.
Oh wow.
Yes. Yeah. So I think Sarah is up next.
Yeah, mine is Sarah Isa. It's very normal, yeah.
You don't say Sarah or?
Yeah, Sarah. We say it Sarah.
You say it Sarah? Really? Sarah.
And the second one is Isa.
Isa.
Or Isa.
Well, how do you say it? What do you?
Isa.
You say Isa? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Deborah?
Yeah, so it's in English it's just Deborah, but in Spanish it's Deborah Galeano. So Deborah Galeano. And
Deborah Galeano.
Yeah.
Really cool.
That's my internal Italian accent that I just used.
Yeah. It works.
Great question, Hajar.
Yeah. That was fun. Thank you for that.
Deborah, you want to go?
Yeah, just lack of time, and a huge downside, I guess, is that the Collab Lab is ending. We only have 2 weeks, and that's bad news. I don't know. I'll miss this meetings, and yeah, it's been great for me.
There are ways to stay involved, you know. So we'll talk about that more.
Yeah, and finally, I just wanted to mention the testing was a bit tedious for me, but you actually built the tool that we could use to quickly convert the date. Yeah, I think we all saw it. I added this card earlier, but I had a link to show to everyone, just in case you didn't show. And I know, Hajar, you wanted to add this in PR, in the testing section. But you didn't, so it would be cool if you add it there, just to keep it in the history.
Okay, I'm gonna add it. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, this is the end of our today's retros, and next up we have discussion about upcoming issues. And is it David? Are you?
It's David.
Yeah, it's me.
I'll stop sharing now.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So, Andrew, I was checking, and there are only 2 weeks left, but there are 5 issues. How is that?
Yeah, it's weird, right? So this week we do like the details one, and then we start on some styling, and then the next 2 weeks. I mean, that's all those issues. There are just like, you know, you need to style this screen and that screen and whatever. But really, what a lot of teams have done in the past is to just kind of almost mob program or something on the styling issues and sort of self-organize a little bit. So yeah, it's not the right exact right number of issues, but it always seems to work out.
Okay, so we have, I'm going to start with the, 13, 14. Okay, so yeah, we are going to start working on the visuals. So as a user, I want to view details of my purchases to better understand my purchase patterns. So the acceptance criteria for this is from the shopping list, the user can tap to navigate to a detailed view of the item. So that view should include the following information: the name, the last purchase date, estimated number of days until the next purchase, and the number of items that the item has been purchased. So when in the item details view, a back arrow should appear in the header that takes user back to the list view. So we can go to the wireframes. And we have this, as you can see here, we have details link on each item. And also we have here an example of how this can look like. So this is all the information that is required, and then the back part link.
And then
to
if you scroll to the bottom, that you see that that bottom nav is gone in this view,
okay,
right?
Yeah. Okay, so any question?
This does kind of assume a little bit about how you have, you know, the app like designed and things. Like some groups have actually done a modal instead, and so they would have, you know, they wouldn't have a back arrow; they'd have like a close X or something like that. So you know, it's a little bit up to you how you approach it. But.
Okay, let's move to the 14th. So this one reads, as a user, I want to welcome, I want the welcome screen to look pretty, so the app looks professional and welcoming. So acceptance criteria, it's an artist. The welcome screen, the screen a user sees before they have created the first or the list looks something like the following or equivalent. So we encourage you to be creative with this as much as you can, as you want. So this has big titles. It needs to be welcoming, as the title says, and yeah, have the wizard-like information like tap here to create list and information to, or what it's called call to action. So big button to create a list and things like that. So
this is the design that I came up with 2 years ago or something when I built this app. You don't need to use this design. Just do something that kind of that you all like. This is
yeah. In this one, I think you maybe it's like it's a team effort. You should get the four together and think about it. Or I don't know. You can arrange, but I think you need the input for everyone here.
Andrew, is there any guidance about in terms of the accessibility issue? Do you know, with two contrasting colors, making sure that they're contrasting enough for those who are visually impaired? Is there any guidance on that in terms of the acceptance criteria? Or
yeah, that probably should actually be part of the acceptance criteria here. Is yeah, whatever design decisions you make, like if you choose material UI or Tailwind or something like that, a lot of that stuff's you're going to get that by default because they've made sure that their frameworks are accessible. But say you were going to, if you were making design decisions of your own, or you wanted to do a custom design or something, yeah, you would you'd want to make sure everything was accessible. And somebody in another channel asked about that, if there was any guidance that we could provide.
Yeah, I think AG told that maybe he's going to write something about that.
So next week we are going to do the learning module on accessibility. So we'll go over sort of what, how to make something accessible. But if you, let's see, I guess maybe just be prepared to react to that learning module next week, because we'll cover all the things that colors and different things that are important for that. But if you have any knowledge about that stuff, just maybe kind of keep an eye on it this week as well.
Yes, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
So does it mean we can use CSS frameworks for these particular issues now, or still vanilla CSS?
Yeah, definitely. You can use a framework for this and all the other issues. I would say just make sure everybody's comfortable with whatever the choice is, and you're going to want to use the same framework for all of the issues for the rest of the project. So okay,
all right, thank you.
Yeah, it's not kind of a nice exercise in evaluating, making a tech choice like that, right? How's the documentation? Does it have everything I need? Do I like the aesthetics of it? To kind of make, if you wanted to really I feel like this team could handle this. If you want to go above and beyond, what you might do is come up with some criteria in advance for what would make a good, a suitable framework for what you want to do. Mm-hmm. And then go in and find out what kind of the world of possibilities are, and then evaluate each one against your criteria to kind of try to come to a decision in a structured way.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so have you decided about assignments?
No.
Who are the
Yes,
parents?
we did. Yes, yes.
Oh, you did? Oh, all right.
Yeah, yes, I think. Sorry, Kenny, I thought Deborah talked to you. Sorry.
Okay. That's fine.
The girl has decided.
So, 14th is who is doing this one?
This is Kenny and I, so we're going to be creative. Kenny, what he says.
All right, no problem.
Okay, we are a little over time, but I will, as you know, I this week, the following week, I'm doing the office hours, but I'm not merging with the session of show and tell of the company that I'm going to do. So I will do both, and I will do it separated. So we will have the office hours on one side, and I will schedule the other also another day this week. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Sounds
So-
exciting.
Yes.
Um,
Looking forward to it.
it's going to be. I think it's going to be Wednesday, but I will post the hour tomorrow.
Very cool.
And I will put you in the loop, and if you can join, that's great.
Mhm. Yeah, but don't, if it's more convenient for you to do it earlier in your day, that's fine. I probably won't get up at 4 in the morning to do it, but I would maybe get up at 8 in the morning to do it. My time. Cool.
Okay,
I
just
think that's it.
sharing. Yeah.
Any closing comments before we stop the meeting? I'm not going to sing
Rick-
again this week.
Yeah,
by the way.
I want to say that I love your new headphones, Sarah. Your audio quality has improved a lot.
Mhm. Oh yeah.
Finally.
Yeah. Makes a difference.
Okay,
Yeah.
thanks.
Mhm. Yeah, great work, everybody. Seriously, love how this app is coming together, and how you're all working together. That's even more important.
Okay.
Okay.
All right then.
Okay. Have a
See you,
great
bye.
week, upcoming week.
Yeah. Expect
Nice.
tomorrow some questions about music.
Oh,
All right.
nice. I love it.
Excellent.
Bye.
All right.
Thanks.
Bye.
See you later.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Yeah, bye.